Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 12th episode of the Rendezvous Podcast. We're already kind of getting into it now, aren't we? I'm back here with Bangovic and Bodok, as always. How have you guys been? Bangovic, let's start with you. How have you been?
I've been great. We had a long day of shooting. My voice is a bit like, how you say it? I just talked a
Bit
lot
tired?
today. Yeah, a bit tired,
Yeah.
Talked a lot today, but looking forward for the podcast. Some things had happened. Looking forward to talk about it. Bo, how about you? How was your day? How was your weekend?
Last week was pretty good. It went all fine and dandy. I had a great prom. Everything was good and all of that.
Nice.
Then Monday came in and Copenhagen Flames went bankrupt. Danish esports is fucked.
Oh boy.
Bo can never take like a rest. Like every time, like
Bro,
we do this podcast, some fucked up shit happens for him.
Why does every single week start with a Bodork L?
We're
I
just
don't
gonna
understand.
We're just gonna record at the end of the week, so you're like on
It's
a high,
either who
and then
covers,
you.
who is losing, or it's something else that like impacts my livelihood.
Wait, you didn't lose. You just played the one map and you won that.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Nothing else happened. Nothing
Yeah.
else happened.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
So,
other than Danish esports like going up in flames,
07.
no pun intended.
It's time to go back to my old nationality, being Dutch.
What the fuck?
Wait, you actually? Wait, what?
Wait, you guys didn't know I'm Dutch?
No.
What? Okay, well, I'm definitely 100% Danish. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
We don't talk about anything. What the? Oh my god. Okay.
At this point, bro.
Brushing over Bo's completely heritage crisis. Let's talk more about Europe, and specifically, first thing we want to touch on today is the European Game Changers that is going on right now and has been going on the past few weeks. It's kind of thriving.
Yeah.
You got a lot of clouted teams in there, some from franchising orgs, that type of thing. Some who are just they're just in there, they're just loving it, and it's going really well. I think. Is it G2 goes in versus BBL, which is about to start in 45 minutes or so?
Yeah.
So some of the top teams playing against each other. But yeah, we thought we'd just mention it and say, give it a watch if you get the chance.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there isn't a main broadcast, so they are all being done by different watch parties, which gets quite confusing, but it's understandable why you do it when there is a bunch of other tournaments going on too. So
I hope actually there is a good watch party for the BBL versus G2 Goes match, because like both teams are 3-0 right now in the standing. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that BBL is going to live stream it. Unsure if there's any consecrators from G2 who will live stream it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also still one team that hasn't been signed yet, CBA, which will be interesting to see if somebody will decide to sign them.
Currently 2-1 actually, so that's
yeah.
I mean, and they have a good map differential, which is like
it's the old I believe it's the old, what's it called, 10-star roster, or part of it. The other part went to Carmine Corp. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you want more Carmine Corp, everyone, you can go and watch them. They're not doing as they got quite a bit of a better record in the Game Changers League, but
yeah,
still not.
And
nice to watch.
Ninjas in Pajamas kind of roasted them. That's
yeah, that's tough.
That's always tough, especially when it's NIP, who's always down bad for the most part. So
yeah, not in franchising. Sad. Yeah, sad.
So all right, and of course, all right. I completely forgot about Ascent Rising. Those have been farming.
Oh yeah, 4-0 currently. Yeah, very far off at the top of the Group B. I am not even sure how much more wins. I think if they get one more win, if it's the same like in the EMEA, like one more win, and they should be 100% secured for the next stage for the playoffs. So they have a good run so far. Plus 4.
Kind of surprised that Navi Celestials is doing this bad, because
they
were actually like seen as probably the ones who would be able to beat G2 Gozen.
Wow. Yeah, I was
so
also,
it's unfortunate to see them this down bad right now.
Yeah.
Also Focus Sakura. I actually crazy because like I thought like when I saw them first, like I saw them scrim a lot and everything, and like some content with those two teams, and like not a good start so far, but split and over, they still can recover.
I mean,
And
they are following the Focus way. When Focus made it into Challengers and did not win a lot there, so I
Mm.
mean, just
But
give them time, I guess.
top
Yeah.
3 out of 8 teams is in each group is quite, you have to do quite well
That is
to
Yeah.
get there. So yeah, it should be competitive. And Ascend, I mean, Game Changers team doing well, their Ascension team doing well. Maybe we'll see them in the franchising next
I
season
don't
as
remember
well.
them doing that well. They got a bunch of flaws, but okay, they kind of looked like they were back. Okay, never mind. I didn't
Yeah,
watch
fair,
that
no.
much. Yeah, they look pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just generally like heads up to like Ascent, like being able to find talent in the tier 2 scene and in the Game Changers scene, like over and over again, because like it's not the first time we've seen an Ascent team competing for something. Very impressive, I feel like.
True that.
Great.
Yeah. And in NA, just thought we'd mention, obviously that Game Changers Series 1 has finished with version 1 taking the crown there. But there was an interesting roster move that we just thought we'd mention, that Benita from Shopify Rebellion, long-standing member of that team,
Yes.
has been dropped or has left the team. Not quite sure. I think it's kind of a mutual parting of ways kind of thing. But yeah, she's no longer on the team. Obviously, they did very well at Game Changers Championship last year, coming second minimally to G2 Gozen. What do we think about this? Is this, was this shocking? It was shocking to me when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely shocking seeing as Benita has a long history in esports. So she definitely brings a lot to the table. But she also doesn't really have like the cracked like young player vibe. So I think what is going on right now is basically just Shopify looking to get more firepower on the team. And unfortunately, that means Benita had to go. Because I don't think she was IGLing neither, was she? I don't think so.
I thought she was, but maybe I might be wrong about that.
No, it was
no,
KP.
KP was IGLing.
KP was
Sorry,
IGLing. So,
yeah.
it makes sense if this is just an upgrade in terms of firepower, and if it is, and they get like a pretty good player in, like I don't know, like Julia maybe, that would definitely be pretty good pickup. But yeah, interesting to see, especially after them still reaching the grand finals last Game Changers series.
That's a thing, but also I do think it's a move I understand from the side of Shopify in terms of like if we take a look at the track record of Shopify Rebellion, they won everything they could win, but both times they played version 1, they got stomped. It's an 0-2 and an 0-3 now, so they are like out of 5 maps they played, they haven't won one. And if we take a look at the just most recent best of 3 they played in the grand finals, just looking at the stats, just looking overall, it just looks like there is a gap between them and version 1, and it looks like Shopify isn't like happy with just being the second place or something. They want to win, they want to be the best.
Yeah.
And what they need for that is a change, apparently. And someone, like, if you want to change, you have to drop someone, and I guess like this was what the team felt like is the best decision to make. And I like it because it just shows that they want to compete and they just don't want to give it away to version 1, which do look just pretty damn good right now. And yeah, hopefully makes the top of the NA region, like the NA Game Changers, a bit more competitive again. Because Florissant is just farming. Holy shit.
Yeah. That is
she's crazy.
Version 1 win it all. GG. It's over.
Yeah, she is crazy. But yeah, I think that's all we've got for Game Changers today. So let's move on to the franchise league. But first, well, I guess it's kind of the franchise league, right? The first 2 teams to qualify for Masters Tokyo is going to be EDG and ASE from China. Edward Gaming, Attacking Soul Esports. They were the teams who came top 2 in the first China Act. I think a lot of people thought that the second one was going to be the one that qualified teams to Tokyo, but it turned out the timing didn't quite work out, I think.
Yeah. So apparently they fucked up on the entire like scheduling and format and all of that. So they changed it like 4 weeks ago. without notifying a lot of teams. So basically, like everybody expected, oh, okay, it's just gonna be Act 2 that's gonna be important. Yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yeah, me too.
And ring ding, nope, okay, it's not gonna happen. You guys are gonna try to qualify for champions or last chance qualifier. Meanwhile, these guys are going to Tokyo, which is a certified bro moment. They also have a fuck ton of time to prepare for Tokyo.
Yeah, I think Mini tweeted about it. Mini had a tweet with like GG to the teams who play against ASE and EDG because they got like, I don't know, what is it, 8 weeks to prep, 6 weeks? 6 weeks?
I mean, I get that it's annoying that they have so long to prep, but also it's not like they know they're going to play.
Yeah,
it's not like they can like study a team that they're going to play.
No, but they can like fully anti-strat every single team at this point.
I mean,
are
they gonna? Also, they don't know who's gonna make it, so they can't do
that.
They're
gonna prep for Fnatic, then they're gonna play K-Corp.
They're gonna prep for every single team. They're gonna look at the bottom teams
against 30 teams.
Yes, we're gonna anti-strat detonation.
You can't prep for every team in franchise.
At this point, if you
can with 8 weeks.
Come on, man.
Just because you can, it doesn't mean you should.
They're gonna be like, oh wait, we're playing
all sorted, bro.
They're gonna be like, we're playing Na'Vi in the first match. Oh yeah, I'll prep from 7 weeks ago when we prepped against Na'Vi. That's really gonna be helpful.
And also like Bind is coming in the pool. Bind is coming in the pool. So I mean, you could, but on the other hand, no, I don't think it's that much of an advantage. I do feel it's more of an advantage for teams like Fnatic, who just like. They're qualified from like already, or like I don't know, for teams who qualify very early. On the other hand, I feel like it's easier to just look at some VODs of ASE and EDG if you want to. But then on the other hand, why would you? I don't know. I feel like it's not that much of an advantage. But on the other hand, I do think it was such messed up announcement because it wasn't really an announcement. There was just this Chinese tweet coming out with, yo, by the way, those two teams are going to Tokyo, and everyone was like, for real? Is that real? Is that like a troll? Is that a real post? And then actually everyone realized, it's actually. Like, for real, this tweet was real. They are going to Tokyo. And the timing is actually odd. I think we talked about it on the podcast that we thought like split 1 is like cool and everything, but the second split gonna be interesting because we're going to see who's going to Tokyo. But, well, isn't the case. EDG and ASE. On the other hand, though, I think EDG is the team who always deserves it. They've been at the top 2 all the time in China, so nothing to add against this. ASE and FPX, I feel like there could have been a match where you could decide it. What do you think?
I mean, if you look back on ASE before life, they were not good.
They weren't.
But now they have basically gotten one thing, which is actual firepower.
Yeah.
So they don't really have that many strats, to be honest. Like watching through their like their VODs, you just kind of see them just okay, let us push this site. We push the site. Life gets kills. Very good. Now we win. I mean, it's kind of it's a strange team where basically they win every single duel they go up against. But then like if another team kind of like comes in with some ad strat, they're kind of like lost in the sauce.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that I'm kind of worried about for ASE specifically. I mean, they were this game against Totoro Gaming in the lower bracket of the FGC the first split. I mean, they lost 13-5 and then won 15-13. So they were, rounds away from not making it. They've gone on a kind of blazing run here, beating EDG in the final, like well done. But it's kind of giving me that, in NA when teams used to beat Optic, but then Optic would be way better like on LAN.
On LAN, yeah. Show it on LAN.
07 the guard. But it's kind of giving me those vibes where ASE have kind of gone on a run, but I feel like EDG are going to have that LAN experience. They actually looked pretty good at lock-in.
Yeah.
Almost taking down 100 Thieves. So
there's actually
very
one thing,
nearly taking them down.
Like, I'm a big EDG believer, and I think we all did like agree on that like for a long time. But at this point, like Tokyo, that's the part where I am at the point where like if they are not like producing results, I'm off that train. Just because they've been at Champions, they've been at lock-in, they haven't won a match yet. They're yet to find a win. Also, they got very bad seeding. I get it. They had tough opponents right away. But at one point, they got to start winning if they want to challenge for those international, like in the international tournaments. And I hope they can do it in Tokyo. They got a lot of time to prepare, a lot of experience on their belt now. I think there's no excuses from their side. I do expect him to get some wins, but I also want them. Like I think they're like they do have to just deliver some results now.
I think China is obviously going to be a long-term project, and I imagine they're going to get their own franchise league, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Right. But like you said, for now, I would love to see them get some wins. I feel like obviously if EDG are up against Fnatic, and like that's the problem with the top teams going from each franchise league being there
That's the
only
thing.
12 teams, right? It is going to be
group
extremely
stage
competitive
per-
and difficult for them to actually get a win.
Yeah.
But going forward into champions, we didn't actually talk about this before the episode, but China have 3 slots. If you need a
That is
tweet
crazy.
that's going over that, it's on my Twitter at CommandYT. But
This guy. Oh.
no, I'm joking.
It's,
But they have 3 slots. I am a bit skeptical. I think if EDG can get a win or 2 at Tokyo, then that's good. But I don't know. I feel like they're not going to do super well at champions, even with the 3 slots. We'll see. Maybe they will.
Yeah, that free slot thing, honestly, like, I don't know. How you guys feel about this?
More money to the Valorant ecosystem. So for me, I don't really care at this point.
I mean, that's the thing for it, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense from a money perspective.
Mhm.
As long as we have the top teams playing there, which we will, I think it's okay.
For me personally, I want to see more teams at LANs, so it's great. Like instead of like those 12 teams, brackets and everything, like 16, that's great, right? It's 16, right? 4 from the LCQs.
Yeah.
And then the 12 from the 4 regions apparently. Yeah, it's great. I think it's great for like just having more teams. I don't think that the Chinese like quality and the depth of teams is there yet, but we will find out. FPX, ASE, and EDG certainly teams which can play Valorant. Hope they can show it on LAN.
They have opened the game before.
They did.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
but China's going to be a long-term thing, and it will only be good for the game in the future. So, yeah. All right. I think that's everything there. And speaking of Masters Tokyo, we are going to do kind of a thing where we're going to predict who we think is going to make the playoffs in each league. And I guess from there, who's going to get to Tokyo, because in all of the leagues right now, well, I say all, the 3 leagues, the 3 franchise leagues, it is really a toss-up for who is actually going to make those playoff spots. There's so many teams in the middle of the pack. So I think we're going to start with Pacific and ranking where we think, each team is going to get. And I think we've got a tier list for it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
07 for Detonation and 07 for Talon. I don't think Talon is going to make it either now, are they?
Really?
You really think
I mean, they have 3 matches.
No, they're not making it, bro.
So they might have a chance. They got a map off Paper X.
Bro, they have a minus 50 rounds differential. That's worse than Destination Focus Me.
Which is an achievement. But they still have a map.
Wait, they've won the exact same amount of rounds. Anyway. Yeah. I'm 07, especially for Detonation, because they are out of contention.
I mean, maybe let's start at the top, right? Like the DRX, Genji, Paper X. I mean, actually, all the top 4 almost lock for me, right? Like DRX, Genji, Paper X, T1, Zeta. For me, honestly, I wouldn't mind just slot them in. What do you think?
Genji, Paper X, T1, and Zeta are all secured with a single win.
Yeah.
Mathematically, I think is what I saw earlier.
Wait, who are they playing next up?
Genji played Talon, so I imagine they'll qualify. Yeah. Paper X Zeta, that's a massive game.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I got a slight suspicion Zeta is going to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
Paper X, they looked good when they kind of had a honeymoon phase when something came in, and then something. Well, he still looks good, but I don't know. They just looked lackluster, especially today against Talon. But then again, I don't know if that's because Talon's improved a lot or just stopped trolling.
I mean, Talon's they look pretty good on Pearl, so.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also, holy shit, Paper X is always cooking on fucking Pearl.
I think you've got to lock Genji.
They had a Phoenix, Jet, Sky, Killjoy, Astra.
It's not that crazy. I mean, it's Paper X. It's crazy for a regular team, but it's not that crazy for Paper X.
Why would
know.
you run this instead of like the Harbor Viper? That's my question.
Was it on Pearl?
Yeah, it was in Pearl.
Didn't they not?
I bet like, I mean, they had something playing Breach on Fracture,
Really?
and they still won the map.
And
Yeah,
it worked.
because Forsaken was playing Neon and Jing was playing Raze, so they can't.
They are
explain how they
cooking,
could've.
man. They are cooking. It's so crazy.
And they still won. And they still.
Yo,
won,
but
so
one
don't
thing
know.
I realized, they played five same players on all maps, right?
Yeah.
That's that's improvement. Like they kind of figured out the starting 5, as it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
I'm
though
not sure, I'm not sure if they have solved it completely.
At least this week.
Yeah, at least this week.
At least this week they some sort of like
So-
tested something out. It worked out.
Yeah.
But I still honestly, like if I take a look, I don't know at the brackets, but still I have believed that like T1, PaperX, and Genji will make it to playoffs. Definitely Genji. I don't know about the
I
others.
think
but...
I think you got to put Genji second. I imagine they'll win against Talon.
I have an idea of who is going to take the last spot.
So
Wait,
do we
hang
think
on,
like
hang on. Let's order
let
these
us-
first 4 teams first before he gets his frying pan out. Okay, so I think Genji will beat Talon. I think they'll beat PaperX, and I think Zeta Division will be a great game. But I think Genji probably will still win it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they lost one of those games. But even then, what are they like? 6-3, and then I think that's good. So I would
imagine
put
we
them
see one
second.
team just absolutely falling down the scale.
Imagine, bro, Team Secret. It's happening to them right now. They're tumbling.
Oh yeah.
And
that's where my cooking comes in.
Hang on.
Okay, god damn it, that was a good transition. Okay.
I think I'm putting Zeta in third.
Ooh.
Because if Zeta beat PaperX, I think they'll beat T1 and then lose to Genji, which will get them to 6-3 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't mind that.
I think all the rest of their games are winnable. If they beat PaperX, I feel like they could win all of their games. I mean,
what is the PaperX schedule? Who are playing PaperX next?
Zeta, Genji, and RRQ. Honestly, all of those are toss-ups at this point. This is why it's so difficult.
Oh. But at least like PaperX, if they win against RRQ, they're 100% locked. So and like they have the chance to win against both other teams as well. Who's T1 up? But I mean, how do you call it?
Secret, Zeta, and DRX. So they've basically got a guaranteed loss coming up against DRX.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I would put it like somewhere like this. That like Zeta is third, PaperX fourth, T1 fifth, or even sixth, depending. Like of course, one of those teams can slip out, but I have the confidence that they can like get one more win. But
I would put T1 fifth, and then
who's the sixth?
And then Bo, what's your
You're allowed
plan?
to cook.
Okay. I'm going with RRQ.
Okay.
I was a big hater of RRQ, but that's not the team. That was more the organization just making very sketchy moves during the off season, some things that are not really allowed by Riot. But Ewok has been doing an amazing job with the team. Some of the players, or I'd say like a bunch of the players, they haven't been able to prove themselves in tier 1 level. And now they are actually looking pretty consistent. They are looking like an actual team. And they actually kind of slap, to be honest.
I mean, they took a map off DRX, which I was very surprised about.
I mean, then again,
impressive.
I believe it was their Haven and RRQ's Haven. It's basically like BBL and Ascent.
Yeah, it's really good.
Their Haven is just too clean. Like people should be like writing history books about their Haven right now. It's so
they
good.
Still look good on Split. Like it was a 13-8 on Haven where RRQ just dominated, then a 10-13 on Split. So it could have been a 2-0 series with like some rounds going the other way. We're not talking about Pearl, okay? We're just not talking about Pearl.
We're just never going to talk about Pearl at this point. We should just never talk about it anymore.
I'm a bit worried because in that series, Foxy 9, obviously apart from the last map, Foxy 9 was not hitting some of the shots that he would usually have hit. So I feel like that split may have been slightly misrepresented on how close it actually was.
Yeah.
But you know, DRX, they're so reliable that they still win that series.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah,
I'm
for
going
sixth
with
place,
RRQ.
I'm going to go with GE. I actually think whoever wins the match between GE and RRQ
Do they
next
play?
week,
Ooh,
they play
Yeah, they
next
play.
week. Whoever wins that, I think will
The
get
mid
sick.
off. Wait, I'm sorry.
Team
No, okay, I
Secret,
shouldn't have said that.
Team Secret's has been
get
falling
cancelled.
off. Team Secret's been falling off. Global Esports is on the come up. They beat Genji 2-0. Let's just put that out. They beat Genji 2-0.
That is just so fucking sick.
I mean,
no cap. SK
RRQ,
Rossi,
yeah,
by
they
the way,
took a map off
goated.
DRX. Like SK Rossi,
Yeah.
but SK Rossi looks comfortable. Monyet is crazy good. You know, they have their five players sorted out now. Texture looks good. Sentinel, Aaron's frying on the KO. Like, you know, if a team came in and beat Genji 2-0 like that wasn't DRX, we'd be like rating them highly. And also GE schedule, RRQ, DFM, so they basically have 3 wins already, and Team Secret. So it's like, I'm gonna jinx them so hard, but it's a bit of hopium. But they have a good schedule. I can see them going 5-4.
To be fair, like if you want to make it to playoffs and you want to have a chance at making it, you must win those matches, and like those are the must-win matches. So it's actually like it's a good schedule ahead of them. It's like winnable games, and they must win them. So like it's the test. Like if they can't like pass this test, it's simply not enough, right? On the other hand, every game they played, I think I was impressed in a way that they never looked bad. They always like stood up against who they played. Like they always had like close score lines, took maps of teams we didn't expect them to do, performed well. You've seen improvements. When the Indian players came in, you saw even like another step like added up on this team. Like this team just has good depth. It has great players. I still think they need to figure out like their starting lineup, but it looks so good. Role changes they made, like everything they do seems to work. Like every change they implement. So I have I'm high on the global train right now. Very winnable games. I also do understand that Bo is high on the RQ. For me, the saddest thing though is like that Team Secret kind of fell off. It was what we were worried about in the beginning, like that we didn't see the progression throughout the season. They kind of like they've been great at the start, but they didn't progress. They just seemed to do the same things over and over again. The other team stepped it up, and now Secret slowly just fell off to I think they're on the 6th place right now, right? Yeah, they're on 6th. And now you just said they played 2 of the games who are literally about to be on the tiebreaker with them, right? They're gonna play GE. They're gonna play RQ.
I'll check. No, they have TRX and T1.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like it's between GE and RQ for me to make it to playoffs, and I'm gonna go with GE just because I'm like I just like the team more than RQ. But it's not like I don't know, just honestly. Also,
in every series they've lost, they've won a map, apart from against DRX when they went 13-11, 15-17. So to me, like every time they've lost, they've looked good. And I think the same could be said for RRQ, but you know, there's been some series where they kind of just, you know, flopped, like against T1, and you know, the T1's one of those teams where I feel like if you're not putting up a fight against them, T1 for me are like what do you call it? Like a
gatekeeper? No.
Yeah, gatekeeper team. Yeah. Where if you beat them, then you're like going into playoffs. If you don't, then you're not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Even though I gotta say, like, I feel like for me, like one thing I want to give the global esports fans and the team, like, I wasn't like hating on it, but like I was so confused by like this like getting 6 duelists in Aaron. I didn't understand the concept, but I'm so happy it worked out, right? Like it does work out. Those players did adapt, and those players look good on their new roles. And this was like such a big question mark, and I think this is already such a big achievement to see like this can work. I don't think that GE needs a roster move. I think GE just needs time to figure out exactly who's playing which role. Because I think like even SK Rossi started on the initiators, now playing Jet again, which looks amazing. So that is great. So I would be happy if they make it. On the other hand, I feel like still RQ improved so much, and like just the narrative at lock-in that like RQ and Foot are both teams which are like, I don't know, everyone was like crying like, this is such a boring game. How can this be one of the first matchups of the lock-in, like in the first stage? And now we see like both teams look like very solid team who could make it playoffs. Both RQ and Foot are very good team, like pretty good teams. I mean,
I think I've got some kind of curse because I made a video. Is this the worst team in franchising about RRQ? And now they look decent. And then Cloud9. Okay, like I mean that was more about the org, of course, but
is K-Core popping off now as well?
Yeah, and Carmine Core. Like you know, I need to make
Next
a video
up, you're
about
gonna
like
make a
the
video
guard.
about
Can you make a-
detonation, and then
make a liquid
then they
video.
qualify through like.
We need a
LCQ.
liquid video.
Oh yeah, liquid video. I'll be
Make
like,
a liquid video.
liquid.
Is that team doomed?
Liquid are absolutely finished, and they will not make it to Tokyo, and then they just win.
07.
Yeah, I think yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I've got to make a video about like a negative video about any team. Like I'll make a video like, can DRX really win Tokyo? No, and then they win it. So
Orc's gonna pay you
Um,
for the curse.
yeah.
But-
I think for the rest of these standings,
Detonation
would
better
go-
use their sponsor money.
Yeah.
I would go
They have a lot
Global
of
Esports in
sponsors.
6th,
Yeah.
RRQ 7th, Team Secret 8th, Talon, Detonation. That would be my rankings.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, I just have like not qualified from 7th onwards
yeah, that
because they're
makes
not
sense.
qualified, and it's not about like also like it's not really about the like who is first, second, third. It's just about like who are the 6 teams making it to playoffs. And from the Pacific region, we got DRX, Gen G, Zeta Division, Paper X,
I'm still going with
T1,
RRQ.
and GE/RRQ because Bo doesn't agree with us.
Exactly.
But,
Put them
man,
up there.
I
Put
have-
them up there right now.
No, I have to see G in playoffs, man. It'd be such a great storyline. Also, question before we move on to EMEA.
Yes.
Will DFM go 0-9?
What's the schedule? Let's
DRX,
take a look.
GE, and Talon.
Yes, they will.
I feel like I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Wait, they improved a bit, right?
I don't
yeah.
want to curse, but I got a feeling. I got a
What,
feeling
that
that
they're
they
gonna go
will do
0-9?
some sort of upset.
Okay.
No, Detonation will do some sort of upset. It's going to be like Sealdom is actually gonna like go absolutely fucking beast mode. The team is actually gonna support him for once. They are not going to just stand there. Meanwhile, he tries to push aside and he just dies because everybody is still over.
You're
Trying
still
to
on that.
get
You're
their
still on
reach-
this. You're still on this showdown copium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
no,
still
it's
on
great.
Sealdom.
It's great,
It's
but
great, it's
unfortunately,
great, yeah.
they're out.
Yeah. But wait,
Unlucky.
who you think they upset? Just one of those 3 teams, or do you think like
He's gonna say GE, isn't he?
I'm not going to go with G.
is it
It would
DRX?
be
You're not-
funny.
And I know
it
you're not
would
going
be
with
funny.
DRX.
It must
it
be
was
DRX. Talon wouldn't be an upset anymore because Talon just fucking doing stupid shit at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're going
it
with
would be
DRX?
funny. It would be funny to see them beat DRX, but it would
Well-
also be funny to see them beat Global Esports, just to see Commend absolutely in tears.
I would be so sad.
But to be fair though, like if like I can see DFM the upset DRX just because it doesn't matter for any of those 2 teams. They just don't
Yeah.
like neither to like if DRX loses
I'm
that
sorry,
one
it's
series,
not
like,
happening.
It's not happening. Of course it's not happening, but if it happens, it doesn't matter, right? Like
DRX, I genuinely think they could all like swap hands, like play with their left hand on their mouse, and they would still win. Like, oh, it's just, I don't know, Chief.
yeah,
It's
they're
just sad to
they're
see.
just too solid.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on?
07.
Yeah, I think so. Okay,
Um,
EMEA
EMEA
is the
all
next team, and just put Fnatic at 1. Just do it.
right.
We don't
I
even need
mean,
to
there's
discuss it.
there's literally
Fantic.
nothing. Yeah. What else can you say? That look literally like honestly at this point, like I'm literally hired by Liquid, and I'm saying Fnatic looks like the best team in the world right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
they do. So
Agreed. Yeah.
you can't really say anything against that.
It's like just facts.
There's no
like,
evidence. There's no evidence to say otherwise. I mean, Fnatic,
Yeah.
the only close series they've had is against BBL, whereas Loud have had multiple close series
Yeah.
against many of the teams in Americas. And yeah.
And
Fnatic
also
just,
the way Fnatic wins is like disgusting in a way. Like
they just
it
deal with every team like they're just like it's like they're in an open qualifier. Like
I've-
it's just
since that OT on Icebox versus Loud, I have never seen any of those players stressed. Like I don't know what happened. And like
They released all the stress. of
yeah,
that.
since that moment, they're just like, I don't give a fuck, man. We came back from an 11-3 and won a grand final in front of a home crowd. Nothing can touch us. That's the thing they're riding on right now.
Yeah.
That like they just look
Yeah.
literally unstoppable. And yeah, like
I mean, the only maps they've lost since they formed this team were those 2 maps to Loud and BBL's Ascent, which like
Yeah.
is just so I don't blame them.
Yeah.
literally best
Yeah.
ascent in the world right now. Yeah, Fnatic won.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it's at the point where they are just the favorites to win Tokyo for me, even though we've never seen team win 2 in a row, all that. But they're just so good. They're so good.
Yeah, they are.
Is this
They
gonna
are.
be the Fnatic era?
I wouldn't mind it.
I
would not
actually
mind it.
wouldn't mind it either.
I think they've got a really likable team. I think
Yeah.
they have cool strats, they've got cool ideas. Yeah, and I love Chronicle.
Yeah.
So
It would also be kind of funny because after Sentinels won Reykjavik, they were like hyping up that this is going to be the Sentinels dynasty and everything. And now the team that
but
they
that's
beat...
exactly why Fnatic will lose in the upper semi-finals to DRX.
Oh, for fuck's
No, I'm
sake.
joking. I'm joking.
I mean,
Division.
I would love that, by the way. I'm just saying.
No,
I'm a
Tony's
DRX fan
in
here.
Tokyo. Okay, so Fnatic are number 1. That's what we've
Fnatic number
established.
1. They're making playoffs. I mean, they are in playoffs quite literally already. They are one of the first. Like, they've been the first team to qualify for playoffs, I think, internationally, because they're just 5-0.
Okay, Bangovich.
The next
this
team,
is your time to cope and say that Liquid are going to be number 2.
Bro, I've seen the scrims every day in and out, and the boys are farming. I'm telling you, we are not losing scrims, man. Everyone is afraid of playing us. No one want to scrim us. We are just too good. Liquid second.
Blink twice if Emil made you say that, okay?
Trust me, he wouldn't want me to say that.
So Liquid play Na'Vi next week.
Yeah, we're gonna play Friday against Na'Vi, so it's actually a direct match. What I can say though is I think which makes sense. I guess our team as well as Na'Vi are both going into that match knowing that the winner very likely could go second place. It's literally the tiebreaker for the second place. If Na'Vi wins,
I'm gonna go with Na'Vi, unfortunately.
No, you can go with Na'Vi. I'm not saying like that. Like, I'm not saying like. Of course, I'm gonna say we're gonna win, but I still say like it's gonna be a very serious match in terms of like both teams gonna take it serious. But for me, I don't even like playoffs.
Don't
is great,
forget. Don't forget about the fact that we literally are gonna see the twins play against each other.
Very true.
Finally.
And please tell me that they are gonna do it. Please tell me that they're
not
just
gonna
gonna like
swap costumes.
It would be funny. It would be funny, and I've been telling them 24/7 to do it.
Right, I'm sure that you've motivated them to pull it off. I'm sure you have.
He probably did.
I'm actually gonna go Liquid on this.
Ooh, I like
Latex
that.
Disrespect. Zipan disrespect. Shao disrespect.
No, I love them. But
honestly,
they've been known to kind of not try as hard in group stages. They know they'll have already. Although I guess getting top 2 is really important. But when you look at their schedule, Na'Vi have yet to play Fnatic, so let's just put that out there. Liquid have BBL
Latex
and
will
Koi.
just come in and absolutely slap everybody.
But Liquid have yet to play BBL and Koi, which I see as, if they beat Na'Vi as well, especially, I feel like they should be winning those games,
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for a punt on Liquid. I think they look great, and I really want to see Nats and Redguard do really well.
Yeah,
Safe
true.
is a menace. I think it's whoever wins that Na'Vi Liquid game in a few days, right? I feel like whoever wins that will get that second place. But I think it's a cool redemption arc if Liquid do. Losing round 1 at lock-in to getting second place in EMEA would be cool. So yeah, I'll punt on Liquid. Why not?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that, of course, if I have the opportunity. I surely go. But in all honesty, without any bias, this is gonna
be the jinx. This is gonna be the jinx.
Why is it the jinx?
I'm actually happy for it. Let's go. Good guys.
It's gonna be a great
put
match.
Liquid up there. Yeah, great.
I'm definitely gonna be watching that match with very intriguing.
Absolute joy.
No, it's gonna be a great match. I think it's gonna be a great match.
You're gonna clip every single time Angel makes a mistake or something.
No,
no.
It's actually gonna be
That's
the
something
battle.
you would do.
It's gonna be
just like how you appear on Twitch chat every single time Hukar starts losing.
That's jokes. But actually, Angel and Radka both gonna do the entry inting Omen plays. We're gonna see definitely an Omen 1v1s.
Now be taking notes.
Yeah, but no, honestly, for me, it's even more important to just say I think Liquid solidified the third position right now in EMEA after winning against Giants, which is still like a team I would lock into playoffs, right? Like Giants still look great. It was such a close series. In my opinion, a good game. And I would put Giants Gaming on the 4th spot there just because
I think you have to.
Yeah, they just look so good.
In random Bodork, like absolute side tangent, I just got a speeding ticket.
Okay, so that's great.
That's
let's
great.
speed along with that.
My day couldn't get any better.
I think now it's going to be a bit more interesting, right? With the top 4 in EMEA, I think no one would argue those right now, right? Giants, Navi, Liquid, Fnatic. But who we got on the last 2 spots? And this is where things get a bit more interesting. We have one team which is in a similar spot as Team Secret, which is kind of in a downwards trend, which is Vitality, which are currently still sitting on the 6th place, but might miss off of playoffs. Then we have Foot. And other than that, who is still in contention for it?
I don't think Koi or Heretics really are, because I don't see Koi winning against Fnatic, and then they'd have to win all the rest of their games, and I just don't.
No, that would be
going to happen.
Yeah, true. Heretics as well.
So really, it's BBL and KC. I think are the only other 2 teams in contention, and Foot play KC this week. So if Karmine Core do manage to pull out a win there, then they will both be 3 and 4.
It would be funny. It wouldn't be funny. Why do I keep saying it would be funny when I try to go with a jinx or something like that? I don't understand it myself. Anyways, I like to imagine that BBL and Karmine Corp are just gonna somehow qualify for playoffs. Just somehow.
I think it would be a shame to see Foot not qualify.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be an interesting storyline because Foot has been doing so successful. Meanwhile, there was BBL who has been struggling through the start of the season, and it kind of like reverses those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least we'd see a Turkish team in playoffs, which I think
that's true.
Is important. But
it's the last game of the
if Karmine Core make it to playoffs,
that is the biggest miracle run. Did you see the upcoming matches? Did you see them?
Who have they got?
Foot, Fnatic, Giants. That is. Oh my god! And all 3 teams
never mind.
Look good.
Maybe not.
And for that reason, I will be predicting Foot and Vitality to make it to playoffs.
I think BBL has a better chance then.
Yeah.
Wait,
but even
BBL
then,
versus Foot is actually the final match of the group stages.
Whew, it's going to be a good last week, I think. You've got.
That's going to be one hell of an ending.
I mean, that last week you have Fnatic, Na'Vi,
and there's just Team Heretics.
Yeah.
Rep.
I just checked this. Like honestly, I just checked the schedules, and like K Corp's schedule is so rough, as well as the one of like BBL's schedule. Like it's Koi, Liquid, Foot. I mean, I could see BBL slip some wins in, but then on the other hand, Vitality. If Vitality manages to win against Heretics,
I think they will.
They might be through already with the 4 wins.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the top 6 that are there right now because in this order, because that Karmine Core schedule, I didn't realize it was so rough, and with a minus 56 round differential, if it comes down to any kind of tiebreaker, obviously other than head to head, like a 3-way tie or something on 4 wins, that's rough, you know.
I mean, let me check one more thing. This is the biggest cope. Nah, Koi can't make it. Like they will lose against Fnatic, and then like they would have to win against. I mean, I have more belief right now in Koi making a miracle run than I would have in K Corp, just because of the schedule. And this is like still like such a stretch. Yeah, I guess it's gonna be like this in EMEA. The top 6 right now are actually exactly the top 6 to make it to playoffs, perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But who knows?
Yeah,
we live in a bizarro world where anything can happen. So
true.
Yeah.
But can we give K Corp some props for the game against Koi though? Like they finally won.
Team Heretics even have a chance anymore? I don't think they have, do they?
They play Giants, so no, not really.
But
yeah, you're right.
Giants is still winnable.
Is it?
Koi is still winnable.
I don't think Giants is
but then
winnable.
there's Vitality. Then you're kind of like,
No, actually, I mean, it's exactly the tiebreaker at last, right? But then on the other hand, Vitality has to lose all the upcoming matches as well.
Giants have Giants have beaten the 3 teams they've played below them, and they've lost to the 3 teams above them. So I don't see them losing to Heretics. I'll be honest.
But wait, they play Fnatic Giants. That's very losable games, and then they are 3 and
We are cooking too much, lads.
They are
We are
3 and
cooking
5.
too
Yeah.
much.
It's possible.
I
I'm just
think-
saying it's possible. Heretics could make it. It's possible.
I very much doubt it. But
I
Bangladesh,
doubt
you
it,
said
but
we
it's
needed to. You said we
Yeah.
need to give props to KC
I
for their win against
yeah,
Koi. I agree
100%.
with you. We definitely do. Don't get me wrong. There was some crazy Valorant. I'll put it that way. Going
That
on in
was
map
jail
3 especially.
Valorant, but fuck it.
Oh my.
Oh.
But it's funny, isn't it, that KC lose Ascent after almost beating Na'Vi on it the previous week, but they win Lotus with an 11-1 defensive heart. I don't even know. It was a crazy game, very fun to watch, and great to see them get their first win. I don't see them making it to playoffs. I'll be honest.
No,
but
but I think
It's a nice storyline, you know.
And
Yeah.
honestly, like,
The-
I think have we talked about like last week or 2 weeks ago where we kind of were like, I think 2 weeks ago, like they don't like just do something else, just try to figure out what you need to do for the next split, and then you're great. Like you can't like it's just too much to ask for to make it to playoffs. And if you do it, well, great, we take it. But I'm happy to see that KC figured out that what they did previously wasn't working, and that what they're doing right now is helping all of the players. So if they will continue with Sage, I think like he's doing a great job. But if they have the opportunity to get like a proper, I want to say like an IGL who has the gameplay experience, because I think Sage is like he has a good mind for the game, which is like, of course, you've been a coach analyst, but I do think like having someone with the firepower, even though like he was fragging as parts as well, I do think like K-Corp has a very promising roster. So glad they
Yeah,
kind of turned things around a little bit, just in terms of like the momentum, and showed people, hey, we can play Valorant. We deserve that franchise spot. We are not just a joke of a team.
No.
I think that's what they proved. If they get a good IGL, you know, their players are actually good, which I think is the main thing.
Yeah.
And they're not a joke anymore, which is what I kind of wanted
Yes.
the story to end with. But now they can play Fnatic, they can lose, and they can bow out gracefully. Instead of they'll get some rounds now, which is
Imagine
good.
if you Fnatic the first loss. Okay. I'm sorry,
07.
guys. 07.
yeah,
Just
it's-
imagine.
Yeah. If that happens, I'm starting a Rocket League channel. If that happens, I'm making CS:GO content. If that happens, I'm uninstalling the game.
Why does
I'm
it look like
uninstalling
I
Chrome.
just disappear into the shadows when I did that? Like, oh.
I hope KC wins, because that would mean a lot more command content,
True.
which is a
True.
dub, right?
W.
Nice. All right. Shall we move over
Um,
to the Americas League?
Yeah, but just before we do,
Yes.
one more team in EMEA that we should mention is Gambit. You can tune into the Gambit documentary. No, I'm joking. I'm kidding. Okay.
That hit me out of nowhere. Like, what the
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Hashtag not an ad, not an ad, not an ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Bro's just thinking about the past.
This
Gambit is no more,
Rendezvous
unfortunately.
Podcast was sponsored by
07.
Command YT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro's
but the
making
Gambit
money, so he
documentary
better
is
start
coming.
paying us too, yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry. I'll just get
Maybe
that.
he'll get watch party rights if he starts paying me.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
All right.
What
Let's move on.
Yeah. Welcome to the Americas League. I think this is actually
Americas.
the most difficult one to decide.
Americano.
Yeah, this has the most teams in contention for those, you know, top 6 that aren't like in the spots right now. There's 3 teams, 2 and 4, who can still make it, and those are MIBI, EG, and Sentinels. Obviously Cloud9 and Loud. Maybe it's the word Loud in your name and you qualify. They have already qualified. They both got 5 wins.
Wow.
Both look
Yeah,
great.
they both qualified, so I'm just gonna lock them in, right?
Yeah, I mean Loud. They have 6 wins. They play crew in like an hour.
I mean,
Oh,
they're
wait, no,
like
it's
they're
like
literally
starting
qualified.
now.
They have 5-0, and Cloud9
Yeah.
has 5 wins. So both of them are literally qualified, and Crew is literally not qualified with 0-5, right? No, they could make it in a very weird scenario, Crew, but most likely out of contention. But like Cloud9 and Loud,
But they're playing Loud right now, and they still have yet to play Cloud9. So it would
does
be
not
quite
look good.
it would be quite a storyline. I think you definitely would
Yeah.
be getting a command video if that happened.
That is actually then the fact that the Crew, the only team who has been at every LAN, won't make it.
Yeah. We lose that storyline as well. Unfortunately.
Anyways,
Yeah, it is
Anyways.
over.
I'm kind of like Crew is just like the most sleeper right now. I just can't really. Even MIBR is more exciting than them.
Yeah, actually
Yeah,
interesting.
unfortunately.
And even EG. Actually.
But let's start from
Groupium died.
Let's start from the top here.
Yes.
We've got Furia, who played. They played Cloud.
No, we have
How much have
Cloud9 first. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like we
No,
can't do
but they've already
We've got Big
qualified though.
Bean.
Who do we put on first though? It's gotta be Loud,
Oh,
right?
Big
yeah,
Bean
Loud.
first. Big Bean first. Come on.
No,
come on.
no. Cloud9 already lost to Loud, and they're Loud are about to play Crew, so they're about to go 6-0. Like every week, Cloud9 play first, and then they go, "We're top of the standings," and then Loud play and they win, and then they go above them again. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
you
Okay,
know.
let's do it like this. Loud, Cloud9. Now it's gonna be interesting. Like we have a lot of teams. Close
This
to
is the
it.
thing, right? You look at Furia and you go, well, they're 4-2. I mean, I'm sure they'll pick up a win somewhere, or they'll just make it off their 4 wins. And then you look at their schedule and you're like, KNRG, I don't know about that
Okay,
one.
Yeah.
100 Thieves, maybe I would favor them more in that series now that 100 Thieves flopped against NRG.
Yeah.
And then Sentinels, and kind of similar thing applies, but all of those are very losable games. So Furia
agree.
are not out of
Wow.
the woods yet. I reckon they'll still make it, but I don't think they'll finish third.
I feel like they get one win and then like they lose 2 more and then they'll like be like 4th or 5th or something.
Yeah. I'm proposing for third place that NRG should go in third place.
Whoa.
NRG?
Is NRG playing left? No. Yes? No.
No, they already lost to them. They have Furia, Loud, and EG. I think Furia is a very winnable game for them if they play how they did against 100 Thieves. I think obviously Loud is going to be difficult. They could still put up a fight. They could still win, maybe. But I think they're more likely to lose that and then beat EG. But even then, they're 5-4. And I think that's like the highest any of these teams are going to get to in the regular season. Like, because I don't think Furia will win twice. Well, maybe they will, but if NRG win that, then they will only be able to win twice. So I think I would go for NRG, then Furia, and then
Where you put left?
Bro. They play
Leviathan.
Cloud9. They're yet to play Cloud9 and Loud.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't know.
They'll probably beat Crew next
Leviathan
week.
is going down.
But then I think they'll be 4 and 5, and they'll probably end 6th or even 7th.
Wow, that loss against EG.
Sentinels
Ooh, that's actually crazy. This region is so close.
They lost against EG. Like going into that match at the start of the season, everybody would have said it's an easy win for Lev, especially after the first few games of EG. Like when
they
went
lost
down,
13-0 last week, right? 13-0 last week.
Literally 13-0.
Yeah.
On Pearl, and then they beat them on it. What? Yeah. Oh wait, no, they didn't. No, they lost 13-10, but they nearly beat them on it.
I'm confused.
Bo is sleeping while America's
brain
on, so
brain just shut off. I think I need some coffee. I'll be right back.
But yeah, I don't see Leviathan getting 2 wins from the next 3 games because they played Cloud9 and Loud, and I don't think either of those teams are going to particularly step off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go NRG, then Furia for 3rd and 4th. But if you see it going another way, then sorry, there's a fly on my light. Okay, it's gone. If you see it going another way, what are you kind of visualizing?
I don't see like I really want Energy to make it to playoffs, and I think there's a chance that there's another North American team making it. But honestly, it's like 100 Thieves. I don't know. From what I've seen from 100 Thieves currently, and the other teams in this league, I do see like 100 Thieves going down, and I think Sentinels can bring it back. So I could see that. Yeah, honestly, this is how I would see like Sentinels on 6th. And then I kind of believe that, but as you said, like Leviathan's schedule is a bit hard, right? Bit difficult. Yeah. Oh, it's so in between those. I don't know really about the tiebreakers between all of those teams, but I could see this, what you said, like with Energy going 3rd, then Furia 4th, Lev 5th, and Sentinel 6th, something like that.
Yeah, I think what might save Sentinels is that they have the head-to-head over 100 Thieves.
That is true.
100 Thieves have the head-to-head over Leviathan. So if all of those teams end up 3 and 4, then Sentinels currently will lose out because of the round differential.
100 Thieves is playing Loud, Furier, MIBR. So I only see them getting 2 out of those. That would give them 5.
That would qualify them. But if they lose to
Yes.
Furia and Loud, then they have to win MIBR, I think.
Man, it's actually such crazy weeks ahead of Americas, just because like those middle of the pack teams are all like so close to each other. Everyone kind of like lost to like an upset loss, kind of like Energy had this one upset loss. It feels like Leviathan just lost to EG, which I don't want to take away what EG did because they played great, but also like this just puts the entire middle of the pack in such a awkward position. Energy lost games they shouldn't have lost, or like they wouldn't lose if they wouldn't overcook. It's so hard to predict, honestly.
I think, okay, the way I'm seeing it, I think it's going to be NRG, Furia, Sentinels, Leviathan. That is kind of pure cope. But I want Sentinels to be in at least in with a chance.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just good for the league, isn't it? And they're just, you can't not watch them. They're just so interesting, like as a team.
Yeah.
So
for me, like why I would agree with that is basically because I would give teams with experience the edge here. Like, I mean, 100 Thieves got experience, but like Furia, Lev, like Leviathan and Energy, they will pull it through. They will get the wins. They need the wins. They will they will stand in playoffs. Furia is in such a fortunate position to have 4 wins already, to only need to win 1 more to make it. I don't see them drop out of the playoffs completely. And Sentinels is that type of team, which is like a bit of like a gamble, a bit of like the uncertainty behind them, because you don't really know with like the roster changes, the coach changes, but still they have this quality of roster. I still believe in them somehow. I don't know. And also like, I think like 100 Thieves looked so horrible in this. Like, once again, it's not just like they looked horrible once. They had like a good game, then it looked horrendous. Then they had a decent game, then it looked bad again. I don't know. I don't think this is the split for 100 Thieves. So yeah, I agree. I would go like this. But
what are we waffling about?
So
we're waffling about the fact that Sentinels are going to make it.
Yeah.
Huh?
And 100 Thieves aren't.
He's done. He is done. Look at him.
I think I'm gonna need more coffee. Be right back.
Bro, it's 9 p.m. Why are you drinking coffee at the first place?
No, bro. What are you guys waffling about?
Okay, so I've said that the standings, how I see them, how I think they're going to be at the end of this split, are NRG, Furia, Sentinels, Leviathan.
Like Cloud and Cloud9 on 1 and 2, of course.
Yeah, of course. So, Bo, what are you cooking?
I mean, even I am slowly losing hope in the current 100 Thieves roster.
You should.
It looks. The word I would use is uninspired.
But I don't know why. I got a feeling EG might win against Sentinels.
That is a big match, to be fair.
Okay, yeah.
Exactly. And I might think that 100 Thieves might be able to scoop in the 6th place.
Yeah, they might.
But Sen have the Iceman.
Now we're talking
but
facts.
Iceman could not beat the Big Bean.
No, but C9 is just different though.
Yeah.
What do they have? What they have? 35% thrifty win rate. Sorry,
yeah, that match was ridiculous. Like, didn't they just win on this one fracture match? I don't know who they played. They just won every round they won was a 50 out of 5 rounds or something.
Furia, yeah,
that was crazy, man.
I felt bad. I was feeling bad for Furia. I was like, just kill them. But they couldn't do it. Zekan had an underperformance. Unfortunately, I don't know. It didn't seem like Sentinel's day. Pancada and Marv were the only people who could really get anything going. They just kind of got boomed. I
just wouldn't be surprised if they lose to EG next
week.
I mean, it's just
that will be a giga banger. I will be tuning into that match.
Yeah, actually, 100%. The first EG game I'm going to be interested in.
It would be funny to see if C9 lose to MIBR, because I think MIBR might be able to take a win there.
Okay, who's the question? Did you say that MIBR could beat C9?
But would it matter?
Yes.
Yeah, it could matter, but also
but
no.
C9 destroyed Sentinels, and Sentinels destroyed
Oh.
MIBR.
MIBR is playing
Oh.
Cloud9 EG, 100
Okay. C9 has 2 young players who can be inconsistent at times.
What?
I
That's
can
his theory,
see a
yeah.
very close.
You know what? I'm actually going to tweet out that you just said that.
Why are you calling me out like that, bro?
For real, man. That's funny.
I'm just in at Bo Hoogland says that MIBR
Let me waffle,
will
okay?
beat
Let me waffle.
C9. Who let?
All right, so Bankovic, what we're now gonna do is you're gonna delete that part of the episode, and now we're just gonna like make sure Command looks like an absolute fraud.
There we go. I've sent the tweet. That's Giga Cap. I'm sorry about that. That's
Oh,
Giga
that
Cap.
shit is fucking hilarious.
That's Giga Cap. Cloud9 will win that game 2-0 easily.
Oh, you jinxed him.
Watch it happen.
Who let me join this podcast? I did.
You did, for real.
But a question I do want to ask. I'm okay. I think Cloud9 will destroy MIBR. Do MIBR have a shot at playoffs?
No, I don't see it. I do see what Bo said, like 100 Thieves could be in the playoffs instead of Sentinels. Yes, this is possible. EG, I don't know. They're so inconsistent. For me,
it would be an absolute fucking giga banger if they went through and got to playoffs.
Would be.
Just to absolutely just nay on the fact that Potter was just absolutely getting hated on.
Yeah, true. Their 5 Twitter followers and YouTube followers would be like super happy. But
maybe they'll actually get like an extra follower. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, yeah, could happen.
Need it.
I can't believe that their views are so bad. Like, it's actually an achievement in itself.
And that's the thing. The content isn't
They're
even
doing
like
zero
terrible or
marketing for
anything.
it.
but-
No,
so
it's not
kind of,
that.
like, not
It's-
surprising.
I think there's some, but however, though, for me, the 5 teams I think are a lock for playoffs are Cloud9, Loud, Furia, Lev, and Energy. And then it's honestly for me in between 100 Thieves and Sentinels, whoever just figures out to like how to show up on match days, because I think like both teams have proven it like here and there, but like I'm not sold on any of those teams completely, because one week they look good, another week they look weird. Sentinels been through more issues than 100 Thieves been. 100 Thieves' only issue is somehow to enable cryocell, which apparently doesn't work, which I don't understand. And Sentinels had like so much
Turn
shit
off the
going on.
gas, don't let him cook it. His ass is not cooking. Okay.
Already getting the hate. Now, I don't know. For me, it's like a coin flip between 100 Thieves and Sentinels. But for me, the most important thing is that Energy is making it, because I want them at LAN. I need them.
NRG, you still owe me that jersey. I'm just saying.
But yeah,
No context.
Yep.
Okay,
Zero.
who we could put in like Sentinels or Lev, like Sentinels or 100 Thieves for the playoffs, because then like it's not about the like who's 5th, 6th, doesn't matter. It's like just who we lock in.
I'm still going with 100 Thieves. I am going with 100 Thieves. What do you think, Bagovic?
Sen.
You know, this is like a thing. My heart is going with Sen, but my brain, like my mind is going with like 100 Thieves, because I think the problems to solve with 100 Thieves are easier than the things Sentinels have to solve, right?
Bro,
Like,
speaking the truth.
That's the thing. But then it's Iceman. And Zakin is cracked. And
The Iceman.
Also true. But
I mean, bro, I don't know, man. Can we flip a coin? Someone has a coin to flip it, and we just decide.
Look, all I'm saying, Bangovic, is we both went against Bo in Pacific. We both went against Bo in EMEA.
That's true.
So I feel like we should continue the tradition. Yeah. Agreed.
No.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna regret this.
Oh my god, why, bro? Oh my god, this is just like a.
I'm going to absolutely start scheming.
Oh my
You guys
God.
think I'm waffling right now? Just wait.
I actually can't wait until like MIBR and crew make it to the playoffs. It's gonna be great.
Man, are we gonna have an hour-long episode, Bo just shitting on us for like laughing at him for his hot takes, which are all just fucking true?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I'm the guy who said that Koi would get third in the regular season of EMEA, so
Oh, that's
you know,
great.
that's on me.
Again, Bodorg is speaking the truth. Koi
You
was
said
shite after all.
Vitality would get third.
That's true.
Still possible.
Still possible.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Possible. You know what isn't possible? Koi.
No, they can
That's
still get
true.
Koi's absolute. No, I mean, like Koi's an absolute shambles, dude. Have you
Man, it's
seen
actually
the
painful. It's
matches?
painful.
Barbar is literally almost smashing the desk.
Oh my god! Honestly, to everyone who had not
at this point,
bro.
The
Honestly,
more
everyone,
I watch, like, I don't know.
guys, you gotta watch the VOD of the K Corp Koi match and just watch the Barber camp. Honestly, bro,
okay,
it's the best
if
thing
somebody
on
wants
earth.
to make absolutely like S tier YouTube content, just make clips of every single time Barbar just has a mental breakdown in the coach corner. Bro,
I just
like was absolutely going mental.
How it makes you wonder. He was Guild's coach, wasn't he? Like,
yeah, he's always been like that, and I'm kind of like,
how did they not win anything? Like, they had Dave, Leo, Prex, and then you start to think, okay, Guild's kind of falling apart as well.
You feel like the issue weren't the players? Is that what you're trying to say?
Actually, they had Yassine. Never mind. I forgot about that.
At one, no, they had Russ.
Oh wait,
right?
no, they had
Russ.
Yeah, they had Yassine for
Russ.
LCQ, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they did.
Who
That
did
could
they
be
drop
Optic.
for Yassine again?
Russ.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And to be fair, they beat Optic. I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how we're just talking about EMEA, even though this is the Americas bit.
It's a recap, right?
I absolutely love Americas.
One thing like we have slightly just touched on, like America's Sentinels, like just a quick one, like twelfth is out for the split as it seems. Like I think officially Marft will be replacing him for the rest of this split, which makes a lot of sense considering everything which is going on.
But it's important to note, twelfth is not benched.
Yeah,
he is
still
just
part of the team.
Gone for a while, so I could see him return for LCQ.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
I think either Def or Zekken will not be in the team for LCQ. And
it would be depressing if they just bench Zekken. Like, he can have a nasty initiator if they can like swap out the roles.
I think as long as he proves his consistency.
Yeah.
But then you have Sassy. I mean, this guy's literally like top 1 initiator in the world.
Yeah, just keep on the sofa.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, have him on info and then true.
Sentinel.
I think like Sentinels can take a lot out of this like period because like they are forced to do some role swaps.
Now that I think about it, just like something that I keep thinking about is like, why aren't Sentinels just putting like, okay, when they need a jet, they just get twelfth.
Yeah.
When they need a raise, they get Zekken.
Like what Pacific teams are doing,
hard.
right? Like they play 6. Like I think that makes actually a lot of sense. And yeah, I think it makes sense to not brute force 5 players on every map if a player just doesn't work on a certain map because his agent pool is limited or he doesn't like perform on certain maps. Like it's great to have like
I could definitely see Zekken and twelfth just switching out map after map.
Yeah.
Depending on the agents that they need.
I don't think they'll do that though.
Because
I feel like
knowing Kaplan, he's gonna do something very weird that's going to save Sentinel's ass.
What, like put Sassy on smokes?
that will never
thought
happen,
of that
bro.
idea,
Was you?
Come on, now you're the one waffling. You're
Yeah.
taking my job.
What? But Sassy on smokes was not a good idea though.
True.
I like Pancada on Sentinel though. To be fair, I'll give it to him.
But yeah, then you can give the smokes to Marth, right?
The Iceman. This guy.
The Ice.
So good. Yeah,
he is good. Yeah, but yeah, there's one thing. Like, sorry for twelfth. I hope they can sort everything out and like everything works out, and he can come back stronger. And
I feel like unless you're a hater, you kind of want to see Sentinels out of LAN. I feel like they're just, you know.
But I also
don't know. There's something about them.
I also want to see them with twelfth in a way, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing. Like if they make it to Tokyo, let's say crazy thing, they make it to Tokyo. Will twelfth go? Probably.
Yeah, I imagine so.
I would love to see.
I mean, look. I mean, NRG Ethos has been like going with NRG to every match, so if Ethos is going with NRG to the games, Tens will be going with Sentinels, I think.
That's actually
Unless, of course, his personal situation gets worse. But obviously, we hope that isn't going to happen.
No, fingers crossed, everything will work out. And
also, one final thing about the Americas League, they've started immediately cutting to player cams right after a round, and I really like it. So, other leagues do that because I feel like it gives us more of a connection to the players.
I agree.
True that.
Yes,
right.
Guys, I think
that's everything. Not much been going on in Challenges this week.
Yeah, Challengers has been actually quite sleeper.
If Bo's saying
I mean,
that,
I mean, right now we have a fucking banger match between Focus and Apex in Polaris.
The Apex, they're just gonna win, aren't they?
Is it going on right now?
Focus look pretty good with the new pickup of Waddle.
Let's open the stream. One of the rare stream days of Polaris. What?
50% of their matches streamed.
That is so sad, though.
Yeah, rip.
I mean, wait. One thing. I don't know. Was it this week? HSD, right? Disbanded, and Meadow kind of.
Okay,
released.
yeah, we should actually talk about this. That's an absolute fucking shit show in Polaris.
It's the first time you actually are allowed to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah,
actually,
I mean, it's absolutely fucked at this point. Like, players are quitting because they just can't do it anymore financially. They can't practice at all at this point because they need to get actual stable jobs to actually survive this whole fucking situation. So it's absolutely fucked. It's absolutely fucking disrespectful from organizations as well, who have been baiting these teams into signing. Oh, if you guys do this, we might sign you. They don't, and it just absolutely stresses me out at this point.
So are they just forfeit losing every match from now on?
They will be forfeiting every single match, which basically means that Hookers is basically almost. Yeah, I mean, then that means we basically qualify for playoffs, I guess. Pretty cool.
I mean, there's a lot of factors specifically in Polaris as well I say a lot of factors. CS, and that culture, that means that Polaris is suffering from this quite a bit more than other leagues.
Yes.
I mean, of course, there's free agent teams in most of the Challengers leagues, but we tend not to see,
it's
teams retiring and stuff mid-split.
Yeah, but I speak with a lot of organizations, and they are very interested in Valorant, extremely interested. The problem is they do not like the infrastructure because they always want to be in tier 1. ENS want to be in tier 1. Heroic, they want to be in tier 1. Astralis, they want to be in tier 1. But they can't do that when there's a challenges system that takes forever to work, and then the TO starts cutting down on broadcast times, and then suddenly teams don't. You get shittier teams because there's some organization that takes over, and they don't give that much salary, so they pick up some very mid players. It's just all a fucking shit show at this point.
It is.
Yeah, I think the aim is to get
I'm just losing hope at this point. I am
the
seriously
aim is to
at that
get
point.
a self-sufficient league where it's actually competitive in itself, with North America, even if Moist, obviously I know Moist is losing a lot of money, but it's worth it for Ludwig and
but then again, also
the
teams in NA, they are absolutely overpaying players at this point.
That's true.
That is one thing that the esports bubble bursting will do is stop those kind of overinflated salaries.
Yeah, but then there's also the teams who are underpaying the talent, and they are leaving because they can't really afford.
That's quite literally the opposite, right? It's quite literally the opposite of the Americas League, where we have one big tier 2 scene, one scene with 10 teams or 12 teams, which are well invested and great organizations which have big followings, and then you have EMEA with hundreds of teams. Yeah. No investment, no following, it feels like.
And do we seriously have to reach a point where in 2025 we're gonna bid a scam organization that runs on crypto and haven't paid their players for 6 months into Ascension?
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Just before we wrap this episode up, quick question. Do you think if they had a Challengers League like in North America with, 2 Turkish teams, a bit like franchising, but obviously less, not tier 1, tier 2, but the orgs, saw more value in it. Do you think that would be better overall for the EMEA system? Or do you think it would be worse?
No. We have too many cultures, too many different ways of working, it won't work. You'll have to, like, this is the best way to do it right now, or else you just have to do it like CS, where you just, as simply as possible, you just make a bunch of different tournaments through the year, and each tournament you get points for it. And it can be online events, it can be LAN events. It's a lot like the Beacon. Sure, it's expensive and everything, but that is where our culture, like our entire how we have been working in Counter-Strike esports, that's what we are used to. And
Yeah.
that would bring more interest, because that basically means that there's going to be events every single time. You could win you could win more tournaments than one. And sure, Challengers brings a lot of like structure. It brings basically some good scheduling and everything, even though the scheduling has been shit as of recently. But it's just like people want to keep playing tournaments. Organizations, they have to market, and if there's only one match each week, and that's why people use best of ones, other regions, because they could keep like milking these big organizations who play every single week. And I'm just going through like an entire fucking whoop-de-loop at this point. I'm just absolutely tangenting enough. It's just stressful. It's very stressful when
It is.
when I know there's players who are top tier who are currently just they want to quit. They want to quit. Like we've been trying everything, and it's just absolutely it stresses me out. This is how we kill. This is how we kill talent. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
This is how we kill talent.
I think right now the tier 2 system in EMEA is just way too structured with all those leagues, and I feel like either Riot is like helping
And
those
too little
leagues.
matches, to be honest. It's
Yeah,
just,
like either like Riot is
there
helping
needs to be more overlap.
those leagues, or we try a bit more loose system, or like just a bit more loose, like what you just said, like how it is in CS. Because I don't think you can have that much structure in the tier 2 scene without the support of Riot, because like what we see right now is literally like what you just explained: low viewership, low investment, low interest. Even though there is theoretical interest, but yeah, they want to become like they want to get into tier 1. Hopefully things get sorted out, but it's just sad.
Counter-Strike organizations, they believe in Valorant. They really want to invest in it. They just don't like the current infrastructure.
Yeah.
And that's the entire problem.
You don't like. You can't.
There
see
is a safety
path
net
to the
in
top.
Valorant, which CS don't, because breaking news, Valve doesn't give a shit. They just,
I mean,
they just
that's the
they just
trade-off,
want to
isn't
push
it? I
something
mean,
out. Yeah.
in Valorant, you will have those tier 1 orgs in the league, and those who join through Ascension, you know, year on year, you'll be able to follow those teams year on year. You support a team, they'll stay there. Whereas in CS, you know, if they run out of money, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, if they, you know,
That's all, folks.
but then obviously there's this part in Valorant where, you know, if a team can't just really like start winning tournaments and just get to the top. That's how it was before in Valorant, like with the Guard, let's say, you know, obviously I love the Guard, but they just went to the top. They started winning, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Of course, they had lots of financial backing, but you could do that. Now you can't. So I do get it. There's not really a path to the top for these orgs. So yeah, it's understandable.
And here's like my problem with it. I can't, if I were to get an offer from another region, I won't take it, because I know I can't build a roster that can win Ascension. Right now, Northern Europe is probably next to Turkey. It's the only 2 regions where you could build a roster that 100% could be Ascension contenders. Because the other regions, they already have like massive organizations who already have the best talent in that region, and then have to add one shitty player to like kind of get the whole LTR stuff going. So it's either you go a long project or you just don't.
Makes sense.
You just wait for a free agent team to qualify for Ascension and sign them.
I think these Ascension lands at the end of the year and the off season, if they do it right, and don't just make tournaments for like.
I'll real quick say, Ascension tournament is gonna be a fucking gigabanger.
Yeah, but the
rest is
especially,
absolutely horseradish.
Like, if these tournaments don't just go, oh yeah, let's just invite all the franchise teams. If they actually go, okay, let's invite. Okay, I'm just gonna take NA as an example. If they go, okay, let's do an off-season tournament. We'll invite all 5 NA franchise teams. We'll invite M80, Guard, Moist, and DSG, and I don't know, somebody else, FaZe or whoever, G2.
Yeah.
Right. If they do that, then that's going to increase viewership and hype for the tier 2 leagues for the next year by a lot, in my opinion. So I think if these off-season tournaments and their organizers like kind of invest not necessarily money, but their tournaments, if they open them up to tier 2 teams, I think it could be really good for the scene in general. So hopefully we see that as well. But yeah, tier 2 rant.
I mean,
think
sadly, the same thing we covered, touched on a lot of times, a lot of weeks, day in, day out. Now with Meadow and HSD are like HSD disbanding and Meadow actually calling out Riot. There's a little bit of just more voices.
Yeah.
Coming
And I
up
could probably say that like Riot is listening, but like it's kind of like they're listening, sure, but we get absolutely zero word of what they're actually working on, how they're trying to resolve this thing.
Okay.
And it seems like that they aren't really listening to what others have to say. Like you kind of look through the interviews and they still have high expectations for the current system that they have. And it's like it's not going to help. We're gonna end up like the NLC for Polaris, and the other leagues will like hurt as well. So I'm just a bit
very
of a side
quickly,
tangent.
by the way, just before we end the episode, Crew are playing with Axedi instead of Davey S.
Okay.
So they've made a change there.
Okay, let's see
and
if they will help them.
I think it's 8-4 against Loud, as in they're down 4-8, but they're playing alright.
I mean,
so yeah,
could be worse, right?
yeah,
Still in the game. But yeah, I think
we're good to go for this episode. I think we've covered pretty much everything that's gone on this week. It wasn't a massively drama-filled week, but it was obviously some good Valorant. That's all we need. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed the podcast. Oh, as always, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.